My name is Leslie Somerset Talley, and I'm the Associate Director for Career Development. And in today's Dose of Development, we're going to talk about how to create a strong letter in 5 minutes. Yes, that means by the end of this video, you're going to have all the criteria you need to create a very strong cover letter in just 5 minutes. So let's get started. So to preface this, I do want to note that sometimes writing a cover letter can seem challenging. It's essentially a paper without a prompt, and so it can be really hard to get started, but I promise you by the end of this, you won't feel that way anymore. So we're going to do a couple of exercises to get our brains flowing. The first is I want you to think about what your why is. So what motivates you to do the work that you're doing? What keeps you when you're working on your hardest days? Why did you pick your major? Why are you applying to these types of roles? So I want you to pause this video, set a timer, and then for 1 minute, type or write what you feel your why is. And just a little suggestion, try to be a little bit more broad than I want to help people. That's important, but we can expand that. Okay, so after you've done that, we're going to do another reflection activity. I want you to think about what you feel are your greatest strengths. So what do you feel you're best at? What are the things that you know you do better than most people? What are some things that maybe your supervisor or a colleague or a mentor have complimented you on? These can be either soft skills like communication and attention to detail, or more technical skills like your ability to use Adobe or your ability to use a program like Python. So again, I want you to pause this video, set a timer for 1 minute, and jot down what you feel are some of your greatest strengths. Okay, so now that you've done those two things, it's time to tie all of this together. And so for that, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to look at a sample cover letter. So just a few housekeeping things. You always want your cover letters to look clean and concise and consistent. And so you want to have a similar heading up here that you would have on your resume. You want to make sure that you are properly addressing whoever you're writing to. And so trying to avoid saying to whom it may concern. If you can find the recruiter, write out their name. If you don't know, something like their hiring manager will do. And I did want to note that there are a couple of things highlighted in here. And so those are the things that we've just reflected on. And so I'll show you how to integrate it. So dear Dr. Feingold, thank you for considering my application for the social media position at Chatham University. I found out about this position from a former colleague, Rachel Carson, who works in your division. Based on my proven ability to provide data-driven and engaging content, I believe I make an excellent fit for this role. And so as you can see, the first thing highlighted is essentially going to be your why statement. So again, why are you interested in the role? Why are you interested in the field? What motivates you? Having a why statement is much stronger than saying something like, based on my skills and experience, I'd make a good fit. So moving on to our second paragraph, one of my greatest strengths is my ability to synthesize research and statistics into relatable and easy to read content. In my previous internship, I created posts on social media to engage the first year class, helping to increase Instagram followers by 11%. Additionally, my supervisors have noted my demonstrated attention to detail in my work. This skill allowed me to serve as a content reviewer in addition to my role as a blogger at College News. So our second paragraph, it's all about those skills and abilities. So that's where you're going to integrate that reflection. And so we have brainstormed what our strengths are, but it's really important to follow up with strong examples. Anyone can say that they have strong attention to detail, but being able to paint a picture for the employer is what's important. So think about an example where you've demonstrated that, you've achieved that, you've just really given your all to that skill, and talk about that in your cover letter. Lastly, the last sentence is just tying it all together. So you're thanking the reader again for taking the time to consider you as an applicant. And then you also want to connect it to some type of research about the company. So you can look at the company's mission, vision, and values, maybe something new that they're doing that you saw on LinkedIn. Maybe their mission says that they're really dedicated to community engagement or diversity and inclusion, and then somehow connect that to what you're passionate about or some of the work that you've done in the past. So I do think it's important to note that we've worked on all the criteria to create a very strong general cover letter. But when you actually submit this to an employer, you do want to tailor it. So that means you're looking at each job description, thinking about the key things that they want, and connecting that to your experience. So maybe for a role you're applying to, or that Carson Kruger is applying to, they really value efficiency and getting things done quickly. And so Carson, who wrote the cover letter, might talk about how their ability to have a strong attention to detail can make his work therefore more efficient for the company. So it's all about connecting. So thanks again for joining me on this dose of development. I did want to note that if you want to work on your cover letter a little bit more, students and alum are always welcome and encouraged to schedule an appointment with the Office of Career Development. Appointments can be scheduled on Handshake and they can be done virtually. Additionally, we have some other resources on how to write a strong cover letter available for you on Handshake. Well, that's all for today. We'll see you on the next dose of development.